Hello, welcome back. So in the last class we stopped at draping this upper part of the dress, and I was showing you how I trimmed out the applique. Okay, but before we do any other thing, I'm going to be draping the skirt part. That's before I place the applique I trimmed out. Then I went ahead to also create a beaded sleeve. I'm going to show you how I create all these later run. All right, so before any other thing, now I'm going to be creating this skirt piece. So let's get started. So sequin velvet, and that is what I'm using to drape. Okay, you can see that's what I've used for the upper part as well. So you can go ahead now and create any magic you want with your fabric. So you just kind of visualize the finished look of your garments while you are on the dress form, while you are yet to create the garment. You are visualizing the finished look of the garment while you are yet to create the garment. Okay, so you will now be you'll be able to decide, I'm satisfied by this or I'm not satisfied by it. Because if you are doing just pattern making, you could finish making clothes and feel like, I don't like this thing. But while draping, you will know whether you are content with what you have done or not. Okay, so right now, as this fabric is with me, I can create any design I want to the lower part. Okay, so the design I want to create, without wasting any time, I'm just going to go ahead to start creating it. Now I have here with me 3.5 yards of fabric. It was 4 yards. I cut half yard for the upper part. Okay, and I'm going to exhaust it all. Okay, so as the dress is, before you go ahead to create your drape, you can decide that you want to make this dress a transformational dress. Let me just give you an idea. Now your drape on the dress can be temporary, it can be semi-permanent. Okay, let me say it can be temporary or permanent. Your drape on your dress can be temporary or permanent. Temporary in the sense that you can the owner of this dress can just put it on, and then you carry out this drape on that person. You're working with just your pins, so it's only the pins that will be holding the dress on that person, the drape on that person. Probably the person just want to use it for a photo shoot. Okay, so you can go ahead and drape on that person, and you remove the fabric after the shoot. That's temporary. And if it is permanent, it means that you are going to stitch it down onto that cloth you have draped it on with your needle and thread, and with sewing machine if possible. Okay, so right now, if you want to create a transformational dress, that means this drape is going to be temporary. All right, so you can go ahead and probably do some design on the lower part, maybe attach detachable flare, okay, or something that covers the lower part more but is detachable, and then maybe you apply some embellishments on this part. Just do something to cover up this nude part, so it won't look like I say the person is naked. All right, so if you've done that, then you can go ahead and cover this the dress up with your drape. So when you remove the fabric of your drape, okay, when you remove the drape, you'll have the other one there. So it means you can rock the dress two ways. You can rock the dress in two ways. So I hope that is clear. Okay, so for me, I am going to make it, let me say, a semi-permanent, based on the fact that I'm still going to stitch it down on the fabric with my needle and thread. I'm going to tack it. Then I can decide to make a skirt, a blue skirt, and wear it on top of this dress so it will look like a gown. So because another thing is that some people will say, okay, after wearing this thing for photo shoot, what do I do with it? Do I just waste the fabric like that? No. So you can detach the fabric, okay, after your shoot, and then use the same fabric to cut a skirt and sew it on top. Do you get it? So that way you rock it in two ways. All right, so draping, you're at liberty to still reuse your fabric as you want. Now, without wasting our time, this is my fabric. I had to cut off the selvage because I use a selvage for the boning. I couldn't get a boning, I couldn't get a velvet fabric that the color matches with this, so I had to cut the selvage. So now I have here with me this lengthwise grain, that's the straight grain. Okay, so you can say this is the straight grain right here. So I'm going to kind of fold this inward a little bit. All right, I'll fold it a little bit, and look at the shape I have here. I've created a direction I want my drape to go through. So this is a dart line and this is a side seam. So my drape is going to be from this dart line, or I can make it, this place is straight, I can make it straight downward like this, or follow this dart line. So however I want to do it, I'm still going to create a form of a diagonal drape around here. So while I'm doing that, it's going to drag some part of the fabric. So what I'm going to do is I will move this forward about, say, okay, I can move it forward by 10 inches, all right, or between 8 and 10 inches. Then I'll fold this part inward. Okay, so I'm going to pin like this. I think I rather do it from here. I think I prefer it from here. Let's see. Can use this line. Can you just do it as you desire? Okay, so you're going to understand the reason why I'm moving it forward later. So you use your pin. So you want it to cover up the line a little bit, so use your pin on it like this. Okay, then I'm just going to hold this place down for now. Okay, that's not how it's going to, that's not the end result, but I'm just trying to hold it down in place. So it's coming here. Okay, so okay, so now look at the way I'm folding it inward. All right, so I'm going to create a kind of curve to achieve my drape here. Okay, because I don't want it to just be firm, and if you want it to be firm, you can go ahead and make it firm. Let's say, I think it's better if it's firm. Remember, we are still trying it out, that okay, can it work this way, can it work that way? So I think it's okay. So we want it to cover the seam line a little bit, and I am going to go ahead and punch it here like so. Okay, so if I want more drape, if I want it to be firmer, I can drag it more so it gets firmer. All right, then if you want more drape here, okay, you can go ahead and add up more drape. You can see on, and you ensure that while you are doing that, you don't take off too much from the floor so that it won't be short. Then the reason why I extended this forward is that as I'm doing this, the fabric will be dragging inward, so that even at the end of the day, if it finally drags inward, I will still be able to maintain my straight line at that spot. Okay, so that is the concept. So let's see if we can pull another one. I think it's not bad. It's not bad. So let me just go ahead and pin these two down. Okay, make sure that your pin is strong enough, because this fabric is quite heavy. Okay, and you are pinning opposite way of the drape. You can see the drape is going up. I'm making sure that it's going down, so that even if it wants to drag down, it won't drag out the pin. I hope you are getting that. So I want to see if I can do the third one. If you do it and that place, the side is slanted, then you just have to stop. I think it's slanted, so I will just do with this two. I will do with this two. Then now look at what I'm going to do. I don't want to create any, I don't want to use scissors at all. If you want, you can decide to cut this side seam, leave some allowance, and drape the back separately. Then that way you have to do a lot of, you know, joining. Okay, but I don't want any joining here. So what I'm just going to do is I would fold it inward so that the raw edges doesn't show like this. Then I'll take it all the way to the back, because our back boning stops here. So that's the design I want. Okay, so I'm just going to take it all the way here. You can decide to fold this, and you can decide to take it just straight like this, so which is what I'm going to be doing. So I'll pin it. This is the seam line, so I'll pin it down like so. All right, then you continue with the back. You can see how beautiful this part looks. It's kind of create a beautiful drape that I really love around here. Now let's take it to the back. So taking it to the back, look at the way I'm folding it. You need to consider the zipper. If it's going to be a permanent drape, you need to consider the zipper. If it's going to be a temporary drape, okay, you can be less concerned, you know, you can be less concerned about the zipper if it's going to be a temporary drape, because the person, you're still going to remove it after the shoot. Okay, so let's assume it's a permanent drape. Okay, so I will just slack my hand a bit here. I will slack holding the fabric a bit so that I can have some space. That space I'm going to slit it later, and then, you know, create space for the zipper opening. You're going to understand soon. So I've slacked it in such a way that at least I can comfortably hold like 2 inches this way. That's 1 inch on both sides. Okay, so I'll just leave some space there. Then I will bring it all the way down to the side, here. So I'll pin it to the side like this. I hope you can see it. So make sure that it covers up the seam. All right, so we're almost done. So we want to create an opening here, so I'll be making use of my scissors here. But before I do that, that will be the last thing I will do. Let's go ahead. Okay, we can actually do that before we do this. So that's so let's go ahead and create an opening. But before you create an opening, you want to turn it around and see if you like what you have done. Okay, you want to see if you like what you have done. So this part, we are still going to fold it inward. Okay, so I told you that I only pinned here temporarily, so it's going to be like this. This part is going to be like this, and I think I love what I have here. Okay, I like what I can see here. Okay, so meaning that I can go ahead and create my opening here. So this is totally optional. Like I said, it's totally optional. If it's a temporary drape, you don't have to do this. You don't have to use scissors at all. But if it's a permanent drape, okay, you might have to use the scissors. But I actually wanted a temporary drape, but because of the class purpose, so I can show you how to work with this, I'll have to use my scissors. So now, okay, I zoomed it so you can see it clearly. So you first locate the point of the zipper and know where it ends. So the zipper ends somewhere around here. Okay, so I'll make sure that my opening, you know, is around there, but not past that spot. Okay, you can make use of a chalk to draw a line so you can see what you are doing. I'm almost there. Okay, I think I'm there now. So this is where the zipper ends. So I'm going to go ahead now and just fold it in. You see what I'm doing? I'll fold it in and I'll tack it down. Okay, so I'll just stay pinning down. My needle and thread is going to do the rest later on. So this will create an opening for the zipper. You can see what here looks like. Okay, I folded the top and here. So this is just perfection. So I'll go ahead and do this part as well, and then we pin, fold this one in very well, and then we fold it inward like so. Okay, so make sure that it's not higher than this, they are on the same level. So I'll be using needle and thread, okay, to tack this down. So you can see, you barely know that this is a drape on it. So that's how this is being done. So it's going to be a permanent drape this way if you have to open a slit up here. Okay, so that is that. Okay, so this part is going to be flowy. Okay, this part is going to be flowy, and I'm going to fold it inward because I want this part to be firm. So I'll fold it inward so that the back part can be firm. So I'll fold it until I have the firmness I want at the back. So I think I'm satisfied with this. All right. Then I'll pin it down. Okay. So you can see what is happening there. So you just use needle and thread to tack this part inside, so you don't have to be seeing the raw edges. Okay, then here I want it to be straight down, completely straight. So I'll fold it inward until I have it straight here. So you have to use a fabric that is very, very, very flexible. You don't use a stiff fabric for draping. Fabrics like Duchess, bridal satin is fine, but I prefer to use Duchess. So fabric that, like any stretchy fabric, okay, would drape very well. So I'll take this all the way down, straight down. Okay, it has to be straight down, and then you leave some allowances at the hem in case you want to hem it. Okay, so I'll leave this straight down as it is. Okay, then I just pin here. Now here I'm going to be creating beads here, just like I did for the sleeve. So the beads is going to, they are going to come across like this to create a beautiful details here. Now if you want to make it a temporary drape, meaning that your bead is not going to be on the main fabric, it's going to be on the one underneath, so you're only just going to tack it down. So in case you want to detach the fabric, you won't have to spoil the bead. I hope that is clear. Okay, so that's that. And if you want, you can as well put the bead on the main fabric. So I'm not even decisive yet myself. So Now I need it to be firm at the lower part. I don't like the way it's just bulky and all that. I want it to be straight down here. I want it to be firm at the lower part. Now to do that, I need to do some holding of fabric here at this part, okay, because this part is open and there is flare, so there is nothing I can do to this part again. So here I need this part that is bulging out to be straight downward. So all I need to do is put my hand inside the fabric. I want you to see how I'm doing it inside. Then you hold some portion of the fabric inward. Just target the side of the skirt, target the side that aligns with the side of the body form. So you hold some portion inward like this, okay? So you keep holding it until you are satisfied with the firmness. So you use your eyes to gauge it that, okay, this is straight, this is not straight. So sorry, I might have to sit down, or because I want to go lower to see what I am doing here. So just pardon my manners here. So this is what draping is all about. When you are really in the middle of the work, you have to use any position that is comfortable enough for you. So this is the side, okay? So I have to follow this part to hold the fabric inward, okay? So I'll hold and use my pin to hold it down. So you can start holding from the hem. I just want this puff to go away. So I will hold and pin. So the amount of fabric I'm holding is not constant, so it depends on how firm you want it to be. Excuse me. So I'll allow this thing to hold down these parts of the fabric. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Before we do any further thing here, I want to adjust this part. I want it to drape more instead of it just being diagonally straight like this, okay? So how I can do that, I can do that from here. So let me just lose, I held some drape around here, so I'll just lose a little part of it down, okay? Then I'll come here and release this part a bit, okay? So I want you to form this drape. This, you can see the curve, the cow drape. So this is a cow drape. So I want you to form this cow shape around here, okay? So I'll have something like this, you can see, but don't drag it too much because you've held here, except you want to go back and adjust that part. So if I'm satisfied with what I have, I don't mind going back to adjust the side seam there. So I think I love what I am seeing here. So I'll just hold it, okay? I still have some other ones at the base to hem. Then I'll hold it like this and fold it inward like so and do my pinning. So I'm going to pin it here now. Okay, so I think I like it more this way than it was. All right, so I'll just leave the drape this way. All right, then I will go ahead now and do my bead work and place the applique on the chest region.